All right, how do you like that? We're going to change gears. We were talking gun control, guns, castle doctrine, and deer hunting in the first half hour. How about we change the pace here just a little bit to the top of the hour? Joined by Audrey Guskey. She's a PhD, so she is very, very smart. And she is also the consumer marketing analyst for Duquesne University. Audrey, what a pleasure. How you doing?
Oh, it's great to be here. Thank you, Alice.
Thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you so much.
We're going to have a great conversation.
Absolutely.
Let's have some fun. Let's talk about the holiday sales. First and foremost, let's get through some of the numbers. I'm seeing it looked like it was a pretty good bump. Was it a pretty good bump?
Christmas came early for retailers this year. It was not a little bump. It was a huge bump. And I think it took everyone by surprise.
Right.
Because as we all know, the economy has been up and down. Last year, sales were fair to poor, and the year before that, they were horrendous. Sales had dropped 4% in 08, and only increased by 0.4% last year. So everyone was holding their breath. And predictions from the National Retail Federation were that sales would increase by about 2 or 3%. Once again, fair, pretty average. But Black Friday, things exploded.
Right.
And some of the estimates, keep in mind, it's still preliminary figures, but about 16% increase.
I saw 16, I saw 19.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen some numbers that really skyrocket.
It's phenomenal. It's great news. Retailers, if that keeps up, will be so merry this holiday season.
Well, let's talk about whether it'll keep up in just a moment. Here you see the headlines of the AP story in front of me. Holiday sales encouraging, but are shoppers done? There's some people out there that say, that was it. I shot everything I got. I don't have anything else. No, forget about it. I mean, isn't that really going to be the issue? December 15th to the 25th is the real big prime time to see whether it's sustained or not.
Well, keep in mind, Black Friday is supposed to be the traditional kickoff and the busiest shopping day of the entire year, which was the case. A lot of shoppers have started. About 70% of shoppers have actually started, and quite a few of them have finished. Keep in mind, why were they shopping on Black Friday? Sales were phenomenal.
Right.
Lots of discounts. Cyber Monday, which was also yesterday. Lots of discounts, lots of bargains, free shipping, etc. for the retailers and for consumers. So basically what that says is shoppers were out there taking advantage of all these bargains. Are they going to continue shopping? Of course they are. The bargains are going to continue. Retailers are going to continue to offer great sales and discounts to us shoppers. And I think, you know, even though a lot of people have put a huge chunk already into their shopping, a lot of us haven't even started or have a lot of time to go.
No, I can assure you, you're looking at one, okay?
Yeah, you're looking at another one.
Okay, good. We go together.
But the story is, when you're looking at, you know, the Christmas shopping, retailers are aware that the earlier that you start shopping, the more you're going to spend. So even if shoppers say, I'm done, I've got it all wrapped, it's in the attic, they don't really mean that because they either forget about it or they just continue to spend more money.
Okay, Miss Lauren was showing us highlights there just moments ago of Saturday over at Ross Park Mall. There were human beings everywhere. And that's part of this. I want to distinguish a little bit in our conversation between the number of people that were out there and the amount of money that was generated. And I bring that up because it looks, while the numbers were down in terms of prices, as you point out, and there were great bargains, there were a lot more people out by all estimates.
Of course.
So that to me is particularly important, because if it was all numbers driven by the fact that everything was half off, I'm not so sure what I would buy as much.
Right, I hear what you're saying. Okay, the numbers are 3 times as many people were there shopping at midnight on Black Friday than last year. So there were a lot of shoppers out there. $45 billion was spent on Black Friday. If you look at the average amount that a shopper was spending, they spent $20 more this year than they did last year. Right. So the sales were there, but also the spending was there. And I think if you add all that together, it's like, it's just incredible. For
here's what I have. I have 41 billion last year, so 45, so it's a jump up. Right. The number of shoppers, 212 million in stores and online on Black Friday weekend.
Yes.
It's over 200 million people. I mean, who was at home except me and you?
Well, that's exactly right. And so, you know, it's phenomenal. And the predictions were that it was going to be maybe a fair Black Friday, and it was, everything was exceeded by leaps and bounds, double and triple what was expected.
And your thought is you're going to give that to the fact that there were more people out there and there were better bargains.
More people out there, better bargains, and more people spending. Now, keep in mind, we as shoppers have been very conservative over these past 2 years, and it was just a matter of time before things exploded. when
right.
people started spending.
Right.
People are spending more on discretionary types of gifts. A lot of people are predicting it's going to be a me Christmas.
Right.
People aren't just buying gifts for other people, they're buying for themselves as well.
Right, right.
And they're taking advantage of all the sales. It's really a value-laden holiday season.
All right, good enough. Now we're going to come back with two more segments here with Professor Guskey to you. Okay, Dr. Guskey, we're going to get to her about what some of the tendencies were, men and women. She makes a great point about maybe it was a me Christmas, or it could be. We'll get to all of that and more. We'll continue the conversation at the top of the hour. I'm Ellis Cannon. She's the doctor, and you're watching PCNC.
Introducing the Chef Basket, the new cooking dynamo that...
Okay, you little sneak, we're going to find out whether or not you used your computer at work. And who else did when it came to Cyber Monday? I'm Ellis Cannon. We're talking about the shopping days of the holiday season. They are underway, and they are much better so far than people expected. The big question is whether they'll be sustained. We'll get to the cyber stuff here in just a moment, joined, of course, by Audrey Guskey, Ph.D. at Duquesne. But we were just mentioning a moment ago about how these numbers reflected people coming out of the woodwork. And you mentioned something I thought was interesting, maybe a me Christmas. I've seen some of those studies that reflect that as well. I guess it's good that we had a lot of people thinking of others, but there weren't enough of them to help the numbers the last couple of years.
Right.
But now, once you start throwing people buying for themselves into the equation, that perhaps is another reason for these numbers.
Yes, it increases the numbers significantly because
Right.
if you're buying for others and you're cutting back on the amount of money that you're spending for other people and maybe the amount of items, you're not buying for everybody. So everything was conservative across the board, particularly buying for themselves and their household. And now that people are feeling a little bit more confident in the economy, they've been spending through September and October. Back-to-school shopping was pretty good, which is a good indication of Christmas shopping as well. So you add all that together, and it seems like now is the time that, yes, we're going to go out there and we're going to spend some stuff on us.
I want to ask you about another factor, and it's the opposite to a certain extent. And I've read this several times today, and I thought it was fairly fascinating. Okay, the numbers are fake. They're a mirage. They're a mirage in this sense because, yes, there's a jump, but this was basically induced by 50% off sales. Once you factor in the cost of retailers having overhead of being up all night and all those people you mentioned being at the front door, that this nets out to a much smaller actual gain than these preliminary numbers suggest.
Part of that's exactly correct. When you've got significant discounts and sales, the retailers obviously aren't making as much money as they would typically make if it was full-priced items. We as shoppers have been conditioned to buy things on sale. So it's very rare nowadays that we buy anything that's full price. Expenses are very high, but if you think about online shopping and the amount of money retailers save, that's huge, and that puts a lot of money into their pots.
That's a great point.